Hello, everyone. This is Lijin from Circular Business Association, and I'm very happy to bring you another episode of Circular Insights, our new podcast, to actually show you more examples of how different people are taking action in driving sustainability as well as to solve the climate crisis. Now, how would you feel if, let's say, you were looking for a recommendation for a restaurant because you arrived in a new place and you really wanted to try its local food that tasted great? And then you found that all the reviews you found online were actually not very accurate. And somebody then told you, it could be because there's a whole team of people using fake email accounts to actually put in reviews to boost up these ratings and all of that. And therefore, there's this like sense of just disappointment. I couldn't find the right review again. Or how would you feel if you spent a lot of time because there was something in your house that maybe needed to be fixed very urgently, but then you just could not find the right person who could do the job well and actually in your vicinity that could come and help you urgently? These are really real pains, especially in this modern day life where everything is very fast paced. We have so much globalization. There is so much AI out there. There's also a lot of fake stuff out there. So, therefore, we're really happy to be able to sit with us today in today's podcast, Mr. Sean Yap, the co founder and chief operating officer of ProppyApp. ProppyApp is an omni app and ecosystem that empowers businesses of all sizes with digitalization, mobilization, and connection using competitive tools that allow seamless offline, online to offline integration. Essentially, ProppyApp is a TrustTech, and it offers user-friendly and trust-quantified experiences for all stakeholders within an open loop ecosystem to revitalize neighborhood economy and to foster sustainability. Now, Sean has forged a distinguished 30-year career marked by his steadfast commitment to excellence in engineering, automation, financial, and property technology sectors. He actually held many critical positions, including those at ABB Malaysia, Citigroup London, as well as Siemens Energy Management and Information Systems in Singapore, and spearheaded lots of projects that exceeded 200 million ringgit. At ABB, for example, Sean actually played a vital role in power automation with the supervisory control and data acquisition system. For those of you who's like, that's a big jargon, essentially the system was used to monitor and control electrical power grids, providing real-time data and actually enabling efficient management of electrical networks. He was also an instrumental team member in actually implementing the first 1.5 breaker system in Malaysia, which is first of its kind since the late 1990s. This system was actually designed to ensure high reliability in operational efficiency in power distribution networks so that you can minimize the impacts of faults and maintenance activities and therefore give us consistent and reliable power supply. Now, Sean further moved on into doing financial planning industry where he thrived for another decade, demonstrating how adaptable and versatile he is in navigating these diverse professional environments. He became a registered financial planner with the Malaysian Financial Planning Council, and actually served as the country chair for Malaysia's $1 Million Roundtable Membership Communications Committee in 2021 to 2022. Further that, Sean has actually done his master's degree in his master's degree with the Chevening Scholarship, and he actually has a degree in electrical and electronic engineering from University of Sussex in the UK. But building on that, his Chevening Scholarship actually brought him to do an MBA in Strategic Management of Technology and Electronic Business from Cass Business School, University of London. So in any case, I'm very happy to be here with Sean to actually explore this latest endeavor of his with ProppyApp and the whole notion of TrustTech. Maybe Sean, welcome to our podcast, first of all. Thank you for joining us in today's session. I really want to start off the session by asking, what is TrustTech? For a lot of our listeners out there, this might be actually be quite a new sort of term to them. So what is TrustTech? How does it actually help us solve those pains, like those fake reviews that I mentioned just now, or not being able to find reliable people to get the job done in their vicinity? Sean?
Thank you, Lijin, for having me today. Well, ProppyApp is an Omni app, the next generation of the modern app, where we are trying to quantify trust, which is the fundamental elements for any relationships and transactions. Now, as we all know, the AI is becoming more and more popular now. Now, in the AI era, it is very difficult to differentiate the real and fake. Now, and it's a good example from Lijin just now, a review on the maybe restaurants or even any kind of review in the market. Sometimes it is a very difficult to understand whether all these review are by a genuine person. Why? Because most of the time, a lot of application in the market, what they do, they focus in only two things: what you want to do, and how to get it done. Yeah, basically these are the fundamental design philosophy of most of the application. What we have added in an additional element is we are asking a question: who are you? So in short, in the whole Proppy ecosystem, which is an open system comprising of many different applications, meaning really have many applications modules inside one app, which is called ProppyApp. Now, all user will be using a single personal ID, we call PID. Now, by that, for the moment, know your customer, which is a verification of the user, is optional. But over time, user will find it more and more important to having their personal identity verified, because this basically will also help to increase the cost of doing not the right thing, the inappropriate thing. So because you have an ID in the ecosystem where you will be able to use it in different kind of application, that is very much related to our daily life activities. I will come to explain more later on, but in short, this is what we do. And if you realize, in today's world, a lot of big corporates also are starting to put in the KYC element to understand the user behind, instead of just the email alone or the mobile phone alone. Because as we all know, everybody can have multiple emails and even more than one mobile phone number. And that doesn't represent the identity of the person. Now, in Malaysia and around the world, most of this identity is governed by the government, where they will have a national identity card or numbers. And this is where we are using it as a reference to identify the user. Now, by having that, then the stakeholder of all the whole ecosystem, be it a business owner who would like to sell things to user, or even the association committee or joint management board of stratified property, all these entity owners are being verified, and stakeholder like property owners are also being verified. Now, in short, it makes the whole ecosystem and any transaction between users or maybe users and entities are being more secure and transparent, because they know exactly this person is real behind the scene in the digital ecosystem. So that is what we do to quantify trust, in short, and therefore we call it TrustTech.
I see. Thanks very much, Sean, for the explanation. As you were speaking there, it prompted me to think about also some relating to, let's say, those investor type of apps where now people are able to go in and actually purchase stocks or even cryptocurrencies and things like that. And there is some degree of verifying your identity before you can join those applications. But if I understand correctly, ProppyApp is actually focusing into the lifestyle as well as the property sector to apply it. Is that a correct interpretation?
Yes, it is in the same analogy, because a lot of things in our life actually are an asset to us. For instance, a business is an asset to the business owner. Even the identity of every user is an asset to themselves, which is unique. And of course, in the ecosystem, we have also property management system that help the stratified property community to manage their properties. So all these homeowners are also having an asset to themselves because of the property that they own. So what we do in the whole ecosystem is we do assetization. We help the user to assetize what is valuable to them. In fact, it is extended to even the personal qualification. Just imagine that if we are receiving the certificate or a graduate, undergraduate or postgraduate, and the university is giving us the graduation certificate. Now, eventually, if the entity of the educational center is also assetized, meaning they are an entity in the ecosystem whereby they can give the asset, the certificate electronically to the user. Of course, physically, you can still have the traditional, hard copy, very beautifully printed out of the certificate, which is very valuable. But now we can do it similarly in the digital world, which is inside the ProppyApp ecosystem.
And why would this be important when it comes to changing entire systems? How does that actually help us, make sure that things would move faster in that change and in a more secure way, I guess?
Well, first thing is that user have to find it useful when they come into the ecosystem, and when they are on ProppyApp, they'll be able to find things they want. Of course, we have different modules. I will just simply touch a few modules, and one of them is the mobile commerce platform, where they can find all the businesses, especially nearby, in closest to them. And then not just that, they will be able to see also the endorsement and review and rating of all these businesses. Now, this may not be new, but in fact, with the verification of the ownership of this entity, then it makes it more real. And not just that, then this become an asset. Imagine that the business that have a lot of good review and rating or endorsement. In the past, we call it word of mouth. Maybe I go to a restaurant because I heard my colleagues say that it's good, and many of my friends, or even I can see in social media, they are talking this is very good. But now I can go in the ProppyApp and look at the merchants, the restaurant, for instance, and really look at their endorsement, review, and rating. Because each endorsement and review and rating, they are all by the authenticated user. So it is a real user behind the scene who have given this endorsement, review, rating to this business. Now, over time, and this can be also accumulated. And in short, we also help to quantify and digitalize the word of mouth, which in the past, this cannot be done. So this is one of the uniqueness of our app, where user will be able to find reliable information which is relevant to them and useful to them, and allowing them to make informed decision. Now, of course, extended to many other parts like property management solutions. We do have also the now organization management tools, allowing the association, any society or associations with a committee. And committee, as we all know, they will have annual general meetings. They may change the committee's representative, chairmen, and the committee members may change over time. So these are also assets. And the asset will be, safeguarded by the chairman or the secretary. And once the terms has been changed, now this asset of the whole organization can be also transferred from one to another, from the outgoing committee to the incoming committee. Likewise to the joint management board for stratified properties, and as well as even a business. Imagine a business. I'm doing a good business and I have a lot of transactions, good review and ratings. But one day, when I want to sell off my business, apart from really selling off, changing of ownership on the business registration under the government regulation, but electronically, these entities or asset can be also transferred to the new owner. And of course, ProppyApp will have a system to also do verification to ensure all the documents are in place to allow that. So now, these are at the moment optional. So therefore, you can see in the ecosystem, there will be business that has been verified per se, and there are business that has not been verified. So user will know whether those verified or non-verified businesses. So when they make decision to deal with them, to buy something from them, they will have more information to decide what is best for them. At the same time, it's not just tangible products. It is also covering intangible services like plumbers, cleaners, gardeners, aircon maintenance, handyman. All those will be possible to appear in the ecosystem as a business owner.
And when you were talking about that, it actually prompted me to think about something that was actually in the introduction itself about this neighborhood economy. And when you're saying that even intangible services, word of mouth is actually being able to be digitalized and therefore accessible to people for making decisions. How does that actually gel with this concept of neighborhood economy? Maybe for some listeners who are not that familiar with it, could you explain a little bit more? Because in the circular economy itself, this circulation very often seems to be talked about from a material standpoint. It's just about waste materials or materials being moved around. But in the deeper understanding of circular economy itself, it's actually the transfer of value between different parties and the ability to circulate those values so that it can continuously restore and regenerate itself, so that it's not just about doing less bad stuff, but actually how do we augment or multiply all the good effects that could come from different actions. So Sean, maybe you can explain a bit more, what is this neighborhood economy, and how, when you were talking about those modules, how do they actually fit in together?
Right. Well, before I go into that, let me also explain a little bit on the business model of the ProppyApp. The business model of ProppyApp is actually a B2B2C infrastructure as a service provider. Now, we do have we offer the platform and with multiple tools for a different type of user or stakeholder to use. Those business owner will be able to subscribe the service on the platform and use all the tools that we have provided for their business, a promotion, transactions, and so forth. Now, and for user come on board is completely free. Now, they will be able to enjoy and look for business or whatever they want, and identify the right service provider or businesses that they can serve them on the platform. Now, because the ProppyApp is only designed on the mobile phone, so as we all know, mobile phone will have the GPS, location where we know where exactly the user is, and in this case, they will be able to showcase all those business owner or service providers starting from the nearest to them. So in short, and this is is a tool that empower the local community, especially in their neighborhood, to revive the hyper-local economy with the localized transactions. By doing so, user will be able to get whatever they need within the closest vicinity around them. Now, typically between 5 to 10 kilometers, just an example. Of course, those special unique, services you may have to find elsewhere, but most of the common services or whatever that we need is within the neighborhood. And this is actually creating a win-win situation for not just the user, where they will be able to find everything nearest to them, but also to the merchants or business owner, whereby they would love to do all the businesses in their neighborhood or surrounding them without traveling much. Just imagine a handyman or an electrician. If they need to travel to a further part to do a job, compared to within the neighborhood, they will be able to do more in a day, and also definitely reduce a lot more carbon footprints by doing so. Now, then it will help to revive the local neighborhood economy, where the local communities will be more thrive, and at the same time, there will be more activities that will be can be generated, such as sharing of resources, regeneration of the between the businesses, because businesses sometimes they will have a lot of collaborations or interlink between each other. So this will allow them to be able to do so. And not just that, we are also building also an inclusive community, whereby we allow anybody, without having bias or differentiations on, their background. Everybody will be treated fairly and have an equal chance to do business. But for those important information, such as those who contributed significantly, or maybe they have a very special, different status from the other, such as the people with disability. And I would like to usually call them people with differently able, abilities. Now, those are the people who would like to do business as well. So, and we ought to, and this information ought to be made known to all the community, all the users. And therefore, one of the tools that we have enabled and created is the e-badge, whereby the authentic associations or organization who recognize these people with special ability or differently ability people, then they can have this e-badge in order to allow user to know that, wow, this is a business whereby we are empowering this category of people to do business. And of course, it can be extended to even the rest, any other certification or recognition, whereby users can make more informed decision by having to do business with this entity. They are also directly or indirectly supporting a certain cause or a good deed. So this is how we prepare tools on the ProppyApp to allow all stakeholders to be able to use the tools to really achieve a much more meaningful objective altogether.
And on that note, I'm very happy to share that actually ProppyApp have been recognized in 2 major international awards celebrating your leaderships in sustainable innovation and community empowerment. And one of them is the Global Hope Award, which was conferred by the Worldwide Persons of Disabilities UK. And this award really honors that application of TrustTech in order to empower communities and enhance lifestyle experiences, mainly in terms of supporting those involved in the Smart Farmability project in Malaysia. And it really actually helps to bring the produce, I think, that's created by such communities closer to their neighbors who would be able to then support both a good cause while also getting good quality vegetables and farm-related products as well. A second award is the Sustainability Champion Award that was awarded to your CEO at ProppyApp, Dr. Max Chen, for actually acknowledging the dedication to drive impactful sustainable business solutions across the region in Asia Pacific. This was presented at the Asia Pacific Sustainability Conference and Awards 2025 by the Sustainable Business Network Association of Malaysia. So this again was a great sort of acknowledgement, I think, of how TrustTech can be applied in order to drive more sustainable solutions forward. Of course, coming back to a more layman person in terms of the applications that we were talking about just now, it prompted me to think about even a very personal example of mine where one of my aunties, were like saying, oh, we're all going into digitalization today, can't even talk to anyone on the phone. I tried to get this sort of person to come in, I think it was for plumbing or some sort of house decoration related thing. And she was saying that why can't they just come to the house, see the thing before they give me a quotation for the job? And as we were talking about just now, there may be plumbers or service-based providers who actually just want to, service and get the jobs done instead of being traveling to far distances to just see a quotation and not actually getting the job. I think that's a lot of time wasted from their perspective as merchants or service providers, where a lot of hours are spent, a lot of travel, emissions, of course, are spent, but then not actually getting in the revenues. So would I understand it correctly that tools like yours would be able to cut down on a lot of these costs from the merchant's perspective? And how would it actually also benefit users in that sense?
Well, for the users, normally they would like to be served very fast. Now, in case of if there is anything that is not right thereafter, they hope the service provider will be able to fix it also pretty fast. Now, and sometimes it's also especially during the emergency. Just imagine that when there is a burst pipe in the kitchen, we can't really start to look for in the past it was still the yellow pages, but now you can go to social media and probably so internet to look for this service provider. But sometimes even in the internet you'll be able to well, just imagine the smaller business owner, the SME, or even the micro business owners, those solo business owner, solopreneur. So they may not be able to make themselves available and appear on the internet or social media. So even though if they are staying in your neighborhood, we won't be able to identify them. Now, in the past, there are some businesses who will, print flyers, leaflet, and
Give
circulate
out name cards.
around. Yes, yeah. So and these are all printed on the paper, which is quite a waste. And most of the time, these paper are collected ended up in become a recycled paper or
It's
newspaper.
left in the house somewhere, and when you need it most, you just cannot find it.
Yes, and not just that. Sometimes when you find it, you say, "Wow, I can't remember. When did I receive? Is it 5, 10 years ago? That is this person still around?" Now, the apps will completely help to address all these pain points because when you turn on the app, all the micro business owner or small medium enterprises you will be on the platform. You will be able to see them. Not just that, you will be able to immediately identify the suitable one by looking at their review ratings and endorsement. So and this doesn't appear in the conventional e-commerce platform. Now we are talking about service-based service provider. But of course, it's the same goes to restaurant. It's the same goes to any businesses. The car mechanics, the maybe the kindergarten. All these can accumulate over time the good review rating and endorsement if they are really serious in doing the business. Now, in short, the whole ecosystem encourages all the business to do business, professionally and also genuinely, so that you gain the good reviews and also the word of mouth. And we are quantifying this so that you can keep it, and this become also an intangible asset to the business, because just imagine a business of 5, 10 years accumulated huge number of endorsement. Now when the business owners is selling off the business, this carry weight because you just can carry on with the same entity doing the similar things with the historical record. Now this goes to also our homes, the property management system. Now, just imagine in Malaysia, they will have a lot of stratified property, and there will be a joint management board or management corporation managing the whole property.
It's like apartments, condominiums.
Correct. Yeah, and yes, and sometimes extended to also residential, area. This
like gated communities.
Gated community. Yes. Now, well, under the law, under the Strata Management Act 2030, now this committee has to be formed, and also they are liable under the law. They have the legal compliance, regulatory compliance to meet in the maintenance and management of the whole stratified property. Now imagine a lot of these community members are also part-timers, volunteers. They meet once a year in the AGM. Then they work those, or sometimes some of them volunteers, but and is nominated and voted by everybody, a majority. Then they become the community members. Now, well, and because they are just volunteers who may, usually meet once a month. Sometimes some of the committee's members are even longer. So they only can rely on the report of the management office. which is usually engaged by the committee, and this is normally management office is normally operated by the property management company, licensed company. So you are at the mercy of this management office reporting. So you will see what is not right, what has to be done, how much have to be spent, and these are not real time. These have to you can only read their report and during your meetup and make decision. Now this is a very this is the traditional way or conventional way of doing it. Now with ProppyApp, this can help to eliminate and address all these pain points because we remember we actually identify and empower the rightful owners. So now all the properties will be represented by the original property owners, and all the owners will be represented by the committee. Now, in the committee and the owners are, of course, they are their identity is already verified. So now, when the committee represent everybody, all the owners, then they are empowered with the tools to allow them to see what is going on, because the property management solution, the system is not just allowing them to see, but also allowing the whole community to arrange a visitor when there is a visitor visiting. Is a visitor management system. Incident reporting, anything that you see or any fault or breakdown that you want to report, all can be done on the ProppyApp. And of course, even the property management company or the management office will be using the same app to respond, to address to the reported issues, and to handle and and keep updates. So the committee will be able to see all this up to date real-time information, including the maintenance fee, which and sinking funds collection every month. So you'll be able to tell who are how many units and what is the collection percentage, and so on. So this is very important because they have to be keep up to the toes to know what is going on in the ground, and because this is the responsibility of the committee, the joint management board, or the management corporation, and this ProppyApp allows this to happen, providing tools for the committee to act in the best interest of all the owners. Now, just bear in mind also, when the property is properly managed, the value of the property or the whole community also increases. This is where they are really, and that's why we call it, we empower the communities. Basically, we provide them tools to allow them to take control on what they want to do with their asset. And property and the whole property community is their asset. So and apart from that, it is also a system where they can have more interaction, and we do also keep privacy. Their individual privacy protected, because in the ProppyApp, well, yes, the user has been verified, which is information is in the system. But when they are in the community, they can actually chat with each other without knowing the name and the contact numbers of the person until the individual share it themselves. So privacy is also protected and kept in the system. At the same time, allowing them to exchange. So imagine all the property owners, when they have been identified. In fact, they have been verified and identified by the management office. Then we can also have the e-pooling, to get opinions, and also in future when the law allows, the e-voting can also happen at the same time. So just imagine, committee members or all the owners can be anywhere while doing the things they want for their own property.
Yeah, that's I mean, really powerful part of it. Even thinking of it from a perspective of circular economy and the implementation of, let's say, circular solutions within these type of properties. Like for example, if let's say they needed a repainting of all these buildings with paint that could actually lower everyone's electricity bill by 20% because it reflected more heat, or it could actually allow the buildings to sweat and not actually creating more heat outside. These are new circular solutions that's emerging, these new types of paints. But in order to actually implement it, the joint management bodies or the committee members would actually need to get the input of all the owners before they can actually go and paint it. And I remember in the past when I did stay in a condominium, we actually had this poor security guard knock on every door for a whole week in order to make sure they got every person's agreement that they were going
Consent,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, and no one actually really knew what was the product about. They didn't have any
Yeah.
chance to really review it because the poor security guard is standing in front of you, like saying, "Oh, so is it a yes or no?" Sort of situation. So it makes it very manual, time wasting, but also very slow to adopt solutions that could actually help all of us live a more sustainable life within the properties that we have. Similar sort of like solutions that probably face the same difficulties is also implementation of, let's say, waste sorting or even food waste related solutions, where the councils may not be actually dealing with food waste, but the community wants to actually handle the food waste because there may be issues with pests, smell, or even, unsightly sort of locations of how food waste is being leaking out from their bins. And also the cost of these management bodies to be paying for services to continuously clean these areas. So it makes it really powerful to have these type of tools in place that enable communities to interact with each other without necessarily needing to be, let's say, in a WhatsApp group where everyone has your personal number. And
Yeah.
yeah. And that actually brings me to another thing that I think you mentioned to me before the podcast, actually, about how, when we even visit various sort of shops or restaurants, everyone is actually taking our mobile numbers or email numbers. And it does create some degree of risk. Do you mind explaining that a little bit better, of what is that problem, and how ProppyApp actually solves it?
Well, yep. One of the application on ProppyApp is the Market 360, where we help the business owner to do business digitalization. We offer tools like allowing them to do issue a discount voucher, promo code, even also doing the membership or loyalty program. And I think talking about membership and loyalty program, I think it is not new to every one of us. When we walk into any shops, even sometime a bakery shop, they say, oh, why would you like to sign up a membership, and you will get 10% discount during your birthday and so on. So now, how can we trust all these businesses to get hold of our information? And sometimes information requested will be tons, and it's just repeated. Imagine you go to a mall, I visit one shop, I have to sign up, and then another one I have to sign up again. Now that is where the ProppyApp is having an open economy, covering all and helping all the business owner. This is one of the tools on the platform for the merchants to use as well, where they will be able, because user has already register their information, voluntarily on the platform. Now, once if the merchants want to offer membership or loyalty program, they just need to state what is the minimum information they require. Now, once I click on the membership, and these are minimum information, maybe such as my age group, my birthday month, my gender, for instance. Now, if these are the information that the user think is okay to give away and to enjoy the benefits by becoming a member, they will basically just click accept, next, and that's it. So it makes the whole membership signing very efficient, very easy to do. And if the information asked is too much, user can straight away just reject. Now they do not have to still filling in their own particulars again and again. So because this is just done once, and ProppyApp is actually doing the protection. We are also in the midst of implementing the ISO 27001 certification. This is where we are also keeping all the data privacy, and also doing whatever necessary to safeguard the cyber security, and we also do practice zero knowledge proof, where information like the identity submitted, we do not keep a copy after verification. Now this actually makes the whole ecosystem safer and more secure, because there is simply nothing to hack, and even the information to be shared with the merchants is having only after getting consent from the user by signing up a membership, and these are the minimum information that the merchants wants and the user allows it to share. So this is how the system is designed for, and therefore it makes a membership and loyalty program signing up much more easier and pain-free, in short, and also come with the security.
Yeah. So if I understand it correctly, from the user standpoint, it definitely you don't need to be signing in or registering.
Yes.
One by one. Again, the same information. Let's say you went to a shopping mall and there are 5 shops that give you discount and you want to join their membership program. You don't need to be filling in forms or keying in your info for every one of them. You would be able to, if they are on the ProppyApp ecosystem already, be able to then say, okay, I'd like to become a member of this, and whatever necessary information that the merchant needs would already be transferred over without you filling in excess forms, but you get the membership benefits. So it saves a lot of time, saves a lot of convenience. But also, because ProppyApp is hosting that infrastructure to deal with the data security, so people can't hack and get your personal information, as well as the customer privacy, whereby people can't just simply sell your information to any other person, or because maybe they haven't been using very good procedures, maybe like all of it is just stacked as forms and somebody comes in and takes pictures of them and gets your information. All those problems actually can be eliminated because ProppyApp's infrastructure already builds in that data protection and customer privacy part of it. So you don't have to rely so much on the merchant's procedures to ensure that whatever information you shared is going to be safe. Because maybe shop A is going to be very careful with it, but then shop B is like putting it all over the place. Any employee can access it. And then shop C is like doing it halfway. You never know as a user.
Yeah.
On the other hand, as the merchant, it also takes away a major headache, because just trying to study what this data security is, how to put in all these processes, training all your employees on who gets access and how you protect that access is actually a major cost, and also something that's a big headache for people who don't really understand how to do it. So ProppyApp provides that tool in order to take away that headache and say it's built in already. As long as you signed up for this, then this is this sort of central policy that applies to all merchants.
Yeah.
Is that a fair representation?
Yes, and it also and ProppyApp also provide tools to traditionally some of the packages that have expiry date. Say for instance, you buy 10 and free 2. So all these can be recorded on the apps, and user and the merchants are both synchronized. So once the session has been used up, then the ProppyApp will be able to show up to date, what is your balance immediately. So it helps the users to keep the user up to date, and also for the merchants, and especially those that involve expiry date. So these are all electronically done, and replace a lot of the traditional hard copy or solo system. Or solo system, that you have to maintain a whole different system to keep all this information in the database.
Yes. As you mentioned, I mean, there are some companies already with their own apps and their own membership loyalty programs and things like that. But it is a cost, number one, to create those apps, and then number two, to actually maintain and update whatever benefits and packages in your own app. And then the app is not running smoothly, you then have to pay again to go and figure out what's wrong with your app. But in this case, it's sort of like built into that subscription with ProppyApp. So then they don't have to go and find someone to go and create their new
exactly.
app.
Exactly, and we do it very cost effectively. So it is very, very cost effective. That is
Right.
all I can say. That allowed all the users to explore themselves, especially the merchants, the business owners.
Right, right. So now it piques my curiosity, therefore, in terms of like why did your team even decide to even solve this problem? I mean, we've seen some application in like the financial sector where investors are using TrustTech already. We've seen some people actually using apps for their own companies already. But why try and solve this problem? And I know that your collaborative work has actually been central to your approach. You've actually shared that you managed to bring on board 700 partners to even just start this endeavor. So how did you even manage to do that, bringing together so many people?
I think it has to do with the timing. The company was founded in October 2020. There was during the time of pandemic, and most of us, are not having a lot to do, and they allow us to really think deeper. How we can leverage on technology to advance and to make our life easier. We started. We had a very humble beginning. We started online during that time to share about the ideas without even a prototype. And a lot of these partners and the, today we have over 700 partners, but this has been accumulated and over time, over the past 4.5 years. So at the beginning, most are our acquaintance, family and friends who understand us, and that is also built on the trust foundation, where we know the ability and personality of each other. We practice a very open, flat, and transparent structure from the beginning, where we keep all the partners up to date on what is going on, and we call them partner and not investor, because they are really putting in not just the capital but also bringing their resources and talents together to grow the company. And we encourage them to take part in the growing the company together, because the founders, in fact, at the beginning, we have two founders, Dr. Max Chen and Lee Wilson. So both founders are able to already deliver the project themselves, but they believe strongly in the sharing of economy, whereby they open up this cake to allow anybody who believe in what we do and resonate with the ideas on how this will be able to advance and make our life better, to join us. And also we welcome them to join, not just by putting the capital, but also contributing their ideas, their talents, and also resources, whatever they have. Now with this, everybody will have their different strengths, and we maximize and optimize all the strengths of each of the partners. And that is why we have come to today. The company, we have close to 70 full-time team members, and a lot of these full-time team members are also our partners who are putting in a lot of efforts to grow the company, because we we see the visions of the company, and that is how this cake is being shared with all those contributors as well. So and and a lot of this will, I think the timing, as I say, is the key thing. So because this may not be able, we may not be able to repeat this history again. And during that time, because of us not having too much to do, then we have put a lot of efforts, and discussions. And our company physical office was not started from the beginning. It was started about 2 years later. So during the first 2 years, when we have a prototype, when we have the first version, second version of the apps, and allowing people to start to use, that a lot of discussion and meetings. In fact, we do have a monthly all hands meeting, encouraging and allowing all the partners to join us, so that they know what is going on and what we are going to do. So we keep this culture and the practice very transparently with the partners, and we hope by doing this, a lot of resources are coming into the projects. The project will excel and grow faster, which happens because today ProppyApp is not just one app, it's not three, it's actually 8 full-fledged app that is functional, allowing people to use, apart from the Home 360, the property management system, the Market 360, which is the business digitalization. We do have also a 360, which is organization management tools, allowing organization association to manage their membership, and they will be able to have event and malls. And talking about event and malls, I want to also highlight that even some merchants, and there will be a lot of mobile merchants, like those pasar malam or even night market merchants who are here tonight and there another night, or the food truck. So they are mobile. They move around. Some of them are merchants in the flea market, so they move around. So for those user or their fans who would like to go after them, they'll be able to follow these merchants. The merchants under the market, the business digitalization module, they will be able to have an event and more, so they can post, today I'm at where, and those people who really like to eat their burger, for instance, they will know where to look for them. So all these tools we are creating it with end in mind, where it will be able to help the business owner, especially the micro and small business owner. Those are the categories, the group that needs a lot of help in the business digitalization. And so this is how we have started. And coming to today, we are also have been recognized by the MDEC, Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, government agency that leads the Malaysia digital economy. And we are having the Malaysia digital status that is recognized to play a key or leading role, a part in the global digital revolution and digital economy. And we do, ProppyApp do have 2 use cases also have been recognized and shared in the MDEC website. So one of them, and 2 of them I have already briefly shared. Of course, we do have other modules of application, such as the mortgage optimization plan, which is used to help to reduce and cut short the mortgage repayment tenure. We do have another application called Community 360, and that was created during the time of a pandemic, where a lot of people would like to help others, and some needies, they really need some help as well. And this is to link those who want to offer help and those who need help. Now, this is a module that is not profit generating at all. And it is in the pipeline that we have more enhancement to this module, but it will be also a very important module to encourage and empower the communities. Because remember, all stakeholders are verified. So we empower the community to help each other through the apps. And we do have a digital, the property marketplace, where property buy, sell, rent, tenancy management will be all manageable on this module. And we have also electronic signing tool. This is 11, and this is now at the moment used to facilitate all the other applications. So merchants, associations, or even the committee, the joint management board, whenever there is any documents to sign, we will be able to sign on ProppyApp as well, which is also tagged with many other features like GPS time, and also some requirement on signing, such as verification of the ID, or even the address proving of the signer. So all these are tools that we create in order to help all the stakeholders in the ecosystem, be it the business owner, association committee members, or the end user. So this is an app for everybody.
Yeah, and as you were just talking about that, it sort of like raised my memories also about like how when people actually want to interact together during the pandemic time, is extremely difficult. It makes a lot of sense now in terms of why TrustTech, this idea would have emerged for the lifestyle and that even community and property part of it. And because it was just so difficult actually to even know, let's say if you had that window to come out and purchase whatever you needed to purchase, service, and you needed to direct your family member who may not actually know you're a fan of that particular vendor or whatever to go and get the goods, it would be really difficult for you to know if they were actually there on the day that you were allowed to go out. And also, how would you communicate with your neighbors? Let's say if you knew another neighbor was facing certain difficulties and that you had the capacity to just help them out that little bit more, how would you actually communicate with other neighbors who are keen to help to actually utilize those small time frames to get the help over to them, or work with parties who are, so-called legally allowed to go out and distribute these sort of things. So it really makes a lot of like community resilience as part of that move towards a better well-being, and better well-being is part of sustainability and also solving the climate situation that we have. Solving the climate crisis that we have isn't only about reducing all the bad stuff, but it's also about how we adapt to the new situations that would emerge. And it seems that the tools that are on ProppyApp is empowering a lot more people to be participative in their community, in that localized economy, so that as communities become stronger in various parts of the region or the state or even the nations, then communities have more ability to help each other out in those times of need, or in those times where we want to actually thrive better and do well together. So with that, I guess the last question would be how do people actually find you guys? Where do they find you or sign up for your tools?
Well, our apps are available. It's downloadable from the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and Huawei App Gallery. So we encourage everybody, be it you a business owner or anybody, you would like to experience the app, because you can be also just be an end user. So just download the app and experience yourself. But for those who are doing businesses and maybe having committee or associations, they can reach out to us through the LinkedIn. Yeah, so you can reach out to me, to my LinkedIn, and then we will respond to you and guide you accordingly and assist you to be on board. Now, in future, just one more tool that I would like to share is the card, which is an electronic business card. So this is a verified digital business card that enhance networking, ensure authenticity, improve business interaction, which allows interaction to be much faster, and build trust across the whole organization, industry, and communities. So these cadres normally can be, prepared by any entity, which is normally the business owners, association, or committee. So it is a form of recognized. It also cut down carbon footprints by not printing. But most importantly, these cards, when we receive, sometimes it will end up in the bins or drawers. Most of the time we don't keep it. But now it is in the electronic format, and most importantly, it is authentically verified. So when one receives, it carries the credibility. And in fact, when the person is no longer with the organization or the company, then this card will no longer be able to use. So this also help in making sure that whatever we receive is really, authentic and reliable.
And it's also when, let's say, a person does leave the committee or leave the organization, they don't take away all those contacts, and then whoever is taking over, has to start from scratch again to accumulate, be it contacts of suppliers or contacts of clients. Those actually can become part of the organization's memory instead of being lost to individuals who come and go.
Exactly. Then that is also an asset to the entity. Yes.
Right. So, well, the links to link to ProppyApp will be available in the description of our podcast episode. If you are users or who are looking for, your lifestyle, or you want to benefit from the ecosystem, you can go to the ProppyApp. If you are merchants looking to see how you can use it for your digitalization, to your membership, loyalty programs, or even just to find leads to clients who are near you in the neighborhood, then you would use a different module, but it is also on the ProppyApp itself. I think, Sean, you also mentioned to me that you all have a HRDF course as well to help merchants who want to learn what is digitalization, how it will benefit them, and how to actually use ProppyApp to actually do that. So it'd be great if that HRDF link as well can be shared with us to put into this. Yeah,
certainly, yeah. So
and of
there's a
course,
training course that merchants who have HRDF, they can sign up, and then by learning about business digitalization, they will be able to also enjoy the subscription together with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great to hear. Now, lastly, also, I hear that you guys are still growing, and I feel like this app should be everywhere, in every place of the earth, and not just in Malaysia or a certain location alone. So, if there are talents who are interested to grow the company with you, where should they go to?
Well, we do have a global expansion plan, so we have numbers in mind, which is going to more than 100 countries eventually. So we have started in Malaysia, going to Southeast Asia and to the rest of the world. Now, any talents or anybody who would like to join us in the journey of our growth, to be it whatever role that you like, you're welcome to reach out to us. We are more than happy to hear you out, and you can reach out to me through the LinkedIn, and then and we can certainly discuss
Direct
further
you.
on how. Yes, and this is once in a lifetime project that allows a lot of people to take part, as long as they understand what we do. So we are more than open, and we are very open and transparent to do that, and welcome
Right,
talents.
thanks. Yeah, thanks very much, Sean, for that. I think it's really exciting to actually see how this infrastructure can bring the pace and scale that's needed to change entire systems. And part of the circular economy is really about how we empowering people to not only minimize the waste, which is in this picture here. You need a lot of people think it's recycling economy, but although you're recovering something, you're still waiting for it to reach the end point before you bring back some bit of goodness to it. But when we're empowering people to actually proactively be part of that ecosystem and be part of building that resilience, be it from whatever services that you can provide, whatever expertise that you can share with people, and actually in that process profit from it so that your livelihood is taken care of. I think it's a really amazing step ahead in order to empower circular economy really down to the grassroots level, instead of it just being a high level policy where it's the manufacturers who need to do it, or it's the government who needs to do it. And actually, through these type of tools, you empower even micro businesses, individuals, solopreneurs, even people with various abilities, and even mompreneurs, they like to call it nowadays, where carers or people who have different obligations in their life are able to still participate into the economy, into that community building and resilience that can very directly affect their own well-being and the well-being of people that they care about. So thank you very much, Sean, for this time that you spent with us explaining TrustTech, explaining neighborhood economy, how it links back to all these different pains that we face on a daily basis, whereby your app and the tools that you're providing would be able to solve this for us. Thank you again, and I hope to catch you again next time. Thank you to everyone listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to us. We are on Spotify. You can also access us on YouTube or on our website. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Thank you and take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, Lijin. Thank you, everybody. Bye.